How to build a strong and attractive body from home. Now, with the whole coronavirus thing, we've had a lot of time to be isolated, and one of the byproducts of that is we've had the gyms closed down. So I've been doing some things at home and also having some past experience as a trainer and an avid exerciser. And I want to share some things that have been working really, really well for me. Okay, so number one, I'll give you some exercises and then some other tips. So you can really boil this down to push-ups, walking lunges, and bridge pose. You can also add in things like plank and all these things like forward plank, reverse plank. But those three in general, if you have the fortune to have access to like a pull-up bar, that's also great. But push-ups, bridge pose, walking lunges. You'll be able to hit pretty much your entire body. The key is when you're doing these things is don't worry about like push-ups, for example. Don't do them real fast. Do everything very slow and controlled. So instead of falling down, you fight against the fall down, and then you also push yourself back up. And you want to put your attention in the part of the areas you're wanting to hit. And you'll notice you'll get far better results to stimulate muscle growth and doing it that way rather than sort of the really fast thing. Do it very slow, do it intentional, don't worry about the numbers, sync your breathing with the exercise, and don't go until failure every time. All you're trying to do is stimulate muscle growth. That's number one. So some exercises you can do there. Now with the push-ups and stuff, you can get creative. If you have like a staircase, you can put your foot up on the staircase to do some decline push-ups. Similarly, you can put your hands to do some incline and just get creative with it. Bridge pose, you can do two legs. You can also put one leg in the air and just so there's many different variations, but those three in general are fantastic. Now, one of the biggest misconceptions, I used to be a personal trainer, one of the biggest misconceptions is if I want to have one of those bodies that's like cut and defined and all that stuff, I have to work out more. And the truth is that's not true at all. I used to work out one time a week, just doing some powerlifting stuff once a week, and I had a very chiseled, desirable body and relative to everyone else's, expectations and desires. Very cut, very lean, very defined. You can see the abs, all the different muscles. But I was only working out once a week, and then when I was working out, I was just doing very low rep, high weight sort of things. Not that I'm recommending that now, but the point is, if you want to have that definition, that's the kitchen. In fact, you can have a very cut and lean body, a very desirable looking body, by getting your diet in order. Now, to do that, I want to share a book with you. It's called The Hot Belly Diet. You can find on Amazon. Comes from Dr. Suhas, and this guy was recommended to me by a very trusted counselor that I have. Works with Dr. Ply. This book, he teaches you some lifestyle stuff. It's very simple and easy to use. The diet's super simple. It's not even a diet. It's more of a lifestyle. What to eat, when to eat, how to eat. Very important Ayurvedic principles, Ayurveda being the science of life from the Vedic tradition in India, that he distills into very simple implementable things, and also uses a lot of modern science to demonstrate the efficacy of all these things. It's fantastic. So in general, what it is you want to have a light breakfast, something like oatmeal or like stewed fruit or something like that. You want to eat your biggest meal in the middle of the day between 10 and 2 p.m. This is when your digestive system is going to be at its highest capacity to digest. So they say like eat like a king during the day, eat like a pauper at night. At night, you want to eat for dinner. You want to eat before the sun. In general, you want to eat after the sun rises, before the sun goes down. And for dinner time, you can have something similar to lunches. It's more lighter, smaller portion, and soupier if you can is good too, especially when you're doing like a cleanse part of it. And so in general, that's what it is. You want to try to walk after each of your meals. Try to be in bed by 10 p.m. All these things are fantastic ways to build a fantastic body. Also, I just made a video. If you missed it, check it out. It's about, I think it's called Practical Ways to Use Quantum Physics for Self-Imaging. Um, Mind over matter. So looking at placebo studies where people are able to make their bodies do things without taking anything. For example, the chemotherapy study where people's hair will fall out even though they were just given a placebo, because once your mind, if you use your mind correctly and you're able to believe in the concept, or if you just believe self-image over and over again, for example, what kind of body you want to look like. Instead of focusing on the body that you have that you don't want, you hold on to what you do want. So every time you think about yourself or when you look in the mirror, just focus on, this is the skin I want to have, this is the kind of arms that I want to have, this is the definition that I want to have, this is like body fat percentage, this is the weight. And you don't focus on numbers, you just focus on what it looks like. And you hold on to that. And the consciousness will create that eventually. And how it manifests, will your body miraculously just shrink all of a sudden? It may. You may end up losing weight out of nowhere without having to do anything extra, and that's very, very possible. And if you understand and look at placebo, also if you understand quantum physics like observer theory, and also various other yoga principles, this is very much in the realm of possibility. What we have called and classified as something called as miracle is simply a terminology applied to a concept that we don't understand. When in fact, the truth is, we live in a world of unlimited possibility that is only confined or regulated, controlled, dictated by the orientation of the mind, aka the observer theory, aka you become as you think, are all the same thing. And also Einstein, imagination is more profound than intellect, because the mind is creative. So use your mind, in addition to doing the practical things like exercise and what you eat, use your mind to engage in self-imaging constantly. Now, when is this powerful? It's powerful to do it at any time, especially repetition and holding on to it. Why repetition? Because what you're doing is you're training your mind to automatically think of the self-image. Whereas, as opposed to in the beginning, you may have to try to convince yourself, this is how I look, this is what I want to look like, etc., etc. When you do it over and over again, what you're doing is it's almost like you're installing a new operating software. You're installing a program. And the more you do it, the more that program becomes real. You're reinforcing, reinforcing, reinforcing. In addition to doing it any time throughout the day, I also invite you, for those who are engaged in meditation, at the end of your meditations is a good time to plant thoughts that you want to manifest. So when you're at the end of meditation and your mind is in a more placid state, plant in a thought. Just pull into the visualization of, go down, you need to do a head scan, go from top to bottom and see what your body wants, what your body looks like. Visualize yourself in the nude. Visualize the definition. Visualize how big your muscles are. Visualize the skin. Is it radiant and glowing? Maybe you're tan. Maybe your hair is done in a certain, maybe your hair is luscious and shiny and soft. And your lips are beautiful, they're smooth, they're you don't have to use any makeup because your skin is in such a way. Just go through that and participate and engage your inner five senses, your touch, your taste, your smell, the everything, and engage in that, and then see what happens. In fact, above and beyond everything, I would say that self-imaging is far more important. Why? Because it'll manifest as you being drawn to certain foods. It'll manifest as you being drawn to certain exercises, and all of a sudden you don't know why, but you want to start exercising all the time. You'll want to take a break in the middle of the day and knock out 10 slow push-ups. Like, this is what's been happening with me is I'll just be like, I'll be called to set, it's like a program's been installed in me where now it's like I'm on a sort of on an autopilot where I'm being guided internally to just do certain things, and it's been fantastic. It's been working out. In addition to this, finally, I would also say is I want to recommend a meditation that go along with this. Perhaps you can do this before the self-imaging or in addition to it. This meditation is fantastic for balancing out all the elements of your body, balancing out your body, healing your body, purifying your body, bringing everything into a state of balance from which you're essentially creating a platform from where you can thrive from and do anything you want to do. And that is the 1 minute meditation from Dr. Ply. You can Google it on YouTube, and it's using 9 syllables, okay? Ah in the root chakra, U in the chest or the heart chakra, Ma in the throat chakra, Om in the center of the head. Then you stop and you go back to the root chakra, Na. Ma in the stomach or the navel chakra around your navel, Chi, or excuse me, Shi at your chest, Va in your throat and your mouth, and then Ya in the 2 eyes in the brain. So you just do, say, 9 cycles in the morning, and then throughout the day do a cycle. So, Ah, U, Ma, Om, Na, Ma, Shi, Va, Ya. That's 1 cycle. That could be done in less than a minute. You can also slow down and really install those sounds. If you have time to do it in a meditation, you can do it out loud, then you can do it internally, and then you sort of let each syllable dissolve into the location so it becomes more of a feeling. So you'll start out like, for example, say you're in the chest, you're doing ooh, and then you'll do that internally, and then you'll just feel it and dissolve the sound into that area. And doing this over and over again, you will establish a phenomenal foundation. You'll feel tremendous. It'll heal your body. It'll heal psychological mind. Dr. Ply says it will restructure your consciousness. The consciousness is the core aspect. Put it simply as this. Dr. Ply says, don't worry about anything else. Money, health, anything. All that you need is a fantastic consciousness. All you need to do is build a fantastic consciousness. And why? Because the consciousness is what's creating, is at the core of everything. So if you're out of shape, if you're having problems in your life, it's a part of your consciousness not functioning properly. That's the takeaway message from this. So engage in both the practical and also engage, most importantly, the foundation from which you're doing the practical stuff is the consciousness building, the consciousness development. Cannot stress this enough. It's the most important thing. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or comments or feedback for future videos, as always, please leave a comment below. And if you want to be notified for future videos, click the subscribe button and the bell notification. God bless.